very nice initiatives to stargazing and eco-lodge activities. We have 2 talks cancelled, so probably we only have 4 talks. So we start with Tsolmon Renchin from Mongolia, and she will talk about her dark sky protection project and astro-tourism in the beautiful Mongolia. Please, Tsolmon.
Okay, thank you. And hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Renchin Tsolmon from the National University of Mongolia. So I teach space science subject at the university, and I do lots of outreach activity for astroecology activity as well. Today, I would like to share our long journey of Galileo Telescopes in Mongolia and how a small educational telescope became a powerful tool for astronomy education, citizen science, dark sky protection, astrotourism, and community engagement. So next slide. In Mongolia, astronomy is strongly connected with our nomadic culture and dark skies. However, many rural communities have limited access to scientific education and astronomy equipment. At the same time, light pollution and environmental challenges are increasing in our country and as well as different regions. So the Galileo Telescope initiative helped us to address these challenges through teacher training, public outreach, and citizen science activities. So for us, astronomy became not only science education, but also a tool for sustainability and social well-being in our country. Next. So here you can see a figure. We selected 9 provinces to distribute teacher training and also establish astronomical teacher training and telescopes and clubs also. Galileo Telescope initiative helped us also to make training, Galileo teachers training. So Galileo, you can see this Galileo Telescope picture in the provinces, 9 provinces there. So there are totally 425 teachers trained in these provinces and also 15 school astronomy clubs. Same time, through this program, STEM engagement has increased. So, next, please. So from this figure, we can see that this activity, teacher training, telescope distribution, mainly focused how to assemble telescope and how to make observation for planets and the stars. For that, we did also observational workshops in 9 provinces. So in the result, we distributed totally 400 telescopes from National Astronomical Observatory, Japan. And teachers trained, as I said, 425, clubs 15, and also communities and the students number increased 1,700 around this. Okay, next. So this time, during this time, Galileo program also expanded into interdisciplinary applications. It means that we project gradually became interdisciplinary and connected astronomy, connected environmental sustainability, citizen science, and also by this figure we can see NEMO, exavolt, and also light pollution awareness Also, we use astronomy for mental health, and for different interdisciplinary fields, we use our Galileo telescopes. Next. So from here, the Galileo telescope always had a very good impact for our school kids, teachers, and also professional development, STEM teachers for Astro-Tourism development. Here you can see one of example in this picture. This is a boy in the grown in countryside and named Bayanulgi province in the western part of Mongolia. First, he joined us outreach activities as a child. He grew up under very dark skies and became inspired by astronomy. So here, 25 years ago, we went Western Mountain in high mountain area in nomadic. There is no light, no network, and something like this with Japanese colleagues. So you can see in the left picture, you can see his small boy. Now he became Astro-Tourism activities and also inspired, he inspired Astro-Tourism, doing Astro-Tourism activity and showing people star and planets using Galileo telescopes. It means that this demonstrates how a small telescope can influence life pathways and community development in the rural areas. So next, please. So one of also activity, astroecology activity. We started astroecology activity in 2023. We organized the first astroecology workshop in the Gobi Desert. The idea was simple, to combine astronomy with environmental stewardship. So for this workshop and in this activity, we included dark sky observation using telescopes and astronomy outreach. We involved teachers, and teachers also had activity for the public and for nomads, for herders in the rural areas. And also we tree planting to fight desertification included. Daytime we plant trees, and the people had workshop how to plant trees. Nighttime we did astronomers from different countries. We together organized star parties and also some to share universe with telescopes, something like this. Next, so why we did astroecology activities in Gobi Desert? In Mongolia, Gobi desertification is becoming a serious environmental challenge. And through astroecology activity, we connected astronomy outreach with tree planting campaigns. And also participants learned that protecting Earth, it is also connected with protecting the night sky. So next, this figure, and from these figures, we can see that desertification really becomes serious environmental issues, not in only Mongolia, in Gobi Desert, in whatever desert areas. Next, please. So this suggests that this figure, we understand that fighting desertification, we have to plant trees and also other activities, including public and including child also. From child, we have to plant tree and observing dark sky and protect our night sky. Next, please. From this figure, we would like to share astronomy outreach in nomadic communities. It means we worked with nomadic communities through Astro Homestay programs supported OAD projects. Families learned how to use Galileo telescopes for astrotourism, dark sky education, and citizen science activities. So these people, number of families, no, Astro homesteads increased until now. Now is running all around the 60 families increased until now to host tourists as homestay family. Tourists come and also anyone can come and enjoy stars in nighttime and also experience nomadic life in the rural areas. Next, please. So one of our activities, light pollution awareness using Galileo Telescope. One important recent activity was forced light pollution awareness campaign. Until 2024, we had no campaign for light pollution. 2020 before we started forced light pollution awareness. So we had workshop and also we tried to involve people to citizen science globe at night. We jointly collaborated with the globe at night. So I translated in Mongolian language. So people who learn light pollution awareness, they contributed. They check, they observe their dark sky and made inputs in the global citizenship globe night program. This project, please next. This project helped Mongolia become connected to global dark sky monitoring network, and also citizen science participation increased significantly in 2025. Exactly 1 year after many people increased involved in this program. One of important things, these activities also started discussions with policymakers and urban planners about dark sky protection. After light pollution awareness activities, policymakers started to discuss how is light pollution in Mongolia, how to protect dark sky, how to we control light pollution. Something like this, lots of activities rise in different places in Mongolia. Next, please. So our results suggest that affordable astronomy tools can create broad interdisciplinary impact. For example, we took Galileo Telescope astronomy tool, and this project and our activity contributed to Mongolian astronomy education. So it changed astronomy education. Before that, we had astronomy education without telescopes observation. After having Galileo small education telescope, uh, school kids, students, teachers are interested differently in this subject. And also same time, citizen science increased, number of participation increased, in environmental awareness changed, also positively turned in right way, also as astroecology activity, astrotourism, homestay families increase. They learn how to assemble and observe stars. Also, they improve their lifestyle and economically their lifestyle increase. And community engagement like globe night and also other observation activities increase. In the future, we hope that to expand this activity into more provinces in Mongolia and also as well as in Asia and different countries also same time. Thank you so much for your attention. So I can't hear you, Marieke.
Now?
So I can.
Can you hear me? Anybody hears me, please?
Hi, Marika. Yes, we can hear you now.
Hello. I propose that we do the questions at the end of the section, but I don't think you heard me, but now you can hear me. So that's the idea, and I hope Tsolmon can stay until the end of the session. But I think we're going now to India. Smriti Mahajan will talk about the Nakshatra Sabha project, and that is about pioneering astro-tourism in remote regions.
Hi, good afternoon. I
Hi.
hope I am audible.
You can start. Thank you.
Can somebody please confirm? All right, great. Thank
You
you.
can start your talk.
So, very good afternoon to all of you. My name is Smriti Mahajan. I am joining you all from India. So, I'll first of all like to thank the organizers and the SOC for the opportunity to join this communion of like-minded people and present the work that we are doing for promoting astrotourism in India. In particular, I am going to talk to you today about Nakshatra Sabha, which is India's first ever dedicated astrotourism campaign. The term Nakshatra Sabha is a Hindi phrase which loosely translates to assembly of stars or gathering of constellations. This initiative, which is a combined effort of the Uttarakhand state government in India and Starscapes Experiences, is an initiative which combines the observation of celestial bodies or nakshatra with cultural immersion in the pristine, light pollution free, dark skies of the state of Uttarakhand. To put it into context, Uttarakhand is a state in North India which is crossed by part of the Himalayan range. And as a result, a major fraction of the state is hilly, green, and thankfully yet untouched by the ill effects of urbanization, and hence the choice. Next slide, please. But before I move on to Nakshatra Sabha, let me introduce you very briefly to Starscapes Experiences. So Starscapes started its journey as an astrotourism startup back in 2017 with one observatory in a small place called Kosani in Uttarakhand. Today, we have 4 observatories, 3 in northern parts of India and 1 in a place called Coorg in south of India. And besides these, we work with over a dozen hospitality partners like Taj, Radisson, St. Regis, etc. for their properties in dark sky locations. We are now a credible ISRO, the Indian Space Research Organization, certified space tutors. So we can work with students in schools and colleges in India. We have partnered with we've partnered with many tourism state boards, and I'll talk a bit about that in next few minutes. We are a group of about 40 people coming from all sorts of social backgrounds, qualifications, age, gender, beliefs. And one thing that ties us all together is basically our passion for astronomy. So that is what Starscapes is. Next one, please. So coming back to Nakshatra Sabha, this was a series of 6 events which took place in the state of Uttarakhand in the financial year 2024-2025. And we started with these 5 objectives in mind. First of all, we wanted to promote conservation of dark skies and create awareness about light pollution. We wanted to test astrotourism market in India. We wanted to showcase that even in a developing country like India, sustainable eco-friendly tourism is a possibility. The state government's interest in the initiative basically came from exploring new tourist regions, new areas in the state which could be developed for tourism. And of course, through all of this, boost the local economies by uplifting, upskilling the local obscured um, communities in the state of Uttarakhand. Next one, please. So we started with a combination of 6 destinations. Some of these were already tourist hotspots, while others were new. So the first one was in Mussoorie, which is a very well-known tourist hotspot in the state of Uttarakhand. And our settings were in the historical George Everest House. To those of you who have not already guessed this, yes, Mount Everest is indeed named after this famous British geographer who is responsible for the Great Trigonometric Survey of India, Sir George Everest. And the George Everest House was his home and lab while he was staying here. And this place gave participants a unique chance to learn about his work, about the history and geography of the place. And together with that, of course, the learn about astronomy and stargazing, giving them a whole immersive experience as part of their tourist activities. The next one was Jageshwar, which is a pilgrimage town, which is famous for its ancient Shiva temple. So again, an offering of 2 night, 3 days, which blended in astronomy, culture, architecture, and history. Another one was Benital, which is a hidden gem in the state of Uttarakhand. It is now known, now recognized as India's first astro village, an ideal setting for stargazing, for astro camping, and particularly for looking up at nearby galaxies like the Andromeda and the Milky Way in its full glory. Next one, please. The Kartik Swami temple was very interesting because this one is the Nakshatra Sabha actually took place within the temple complex. It's based in a scenic town of Rudraprayag, which is again near this historic temple, and again combined astronomy with the cultural exploration of how even back in ancient India, thousands of years ago, our ancestors knew about the motion of the celestial objects and hence oriented our temples and the impact of astronomy on the temple architecture in India. The next one was in a national reserve, tiger reserve, which is the Jim Corbett National Park. But this was kind of different from the others because this was a dark sky conclave which brought together stakeholders from astronomers, astrophotographers, journalists, media, social media influencers, naturalists, bird watchers, science communicators, policymakers from the government, heads of educational institutions, architects, educators, and of course, students and members of the general public. And these 50 plus stakeholders came together to draft India's first dark sky policy, which is being considered by the state government of Uttarakhand before it is being passed on to the central government. And the last edition of the Nakshatra Sabha took place in Pithoragarh, again near a historic setting of Gurkha Fort, which was built in the 1900s and hence offered an idyllic setting for stargazing and especially astrophotography with the ruins of the fort in the front, and combined history, culture, geography into an immersive experience. So what did people actually do in this 2 night, 3 day offering, besides the obvious things, solar observations using filters and the stargazing in the evening? Kids during the day engaged in making paper rockets and launching them through hydraulic or air pressured pumps. They played astro themed games and puzzles. Expert educators and historians and astronomers were invited, depending upon the venue, to talk on a variety of topics, from astronomy to wildlife conservation of species, rare species which are particular to that particular area, temple architecture I've already mentioned, and nature. And people engaged in nature-based activities like trekking, jungle safaris, bird watching, water sports. The evenings were again fun-filled. Besides stargazing, there were bonfire local bands playing music, and people exploring basically the Uttarakhandi way of living and the local cuisine. So what did we observe besides the usual suspects, the sun, moon, constellations, Jupiter, and the Galilean moons? I've combined it into given the time that we have. From one of the locations were set such that we could observe the Draconids meteor shower. The Kartik Swami setting gave us an opportunity to observe the Virgo cluster of galaxies, which is the nearest cluster of galaxies to us, and many deep sky objects like the Andromeda Galaxy, the Orion Nebula, and many other nebulae and star clusters. Besides, twice I think we were also able to observe Uranus and Neptune. So what did we actually achieve? We were able to showcase that indeed, even in a developing nation like India, it is absolutely possible to have a market, the market for ecotourism and sustainable tourism not just exist, but can flourish. We had roughly twice the number of participants than what we started with. And besides Indian tourists, we were very fortunate to get international guests from US, Norway, France, Germany. Our social media campaign reached 2.3 million plus interactions. And we were able to explore new locations like Takula, Jageshwar, and Benital, which in the last few months we have seen are seeing an upsurge in tourism. Several astro kits, which included small telescopes, manuals, the training on how to use them, planispheres, little sundial models, and stuff like that, was actually distributed to local people. Many of the government school students were invited when we were doing wherever we were doing the events, to come and use the telescope, and our educators interacted with them. Of course, to take care of the housing, transport, the catering, we involved the local businesses, and that kind of gave a boost to the local economy. So every objective, each one of the 5 objectives that we started with, whether it was creating awareness for light pollution, sustainable tourism, exploring new touristic spots in the state of Uttarakhand, uplifting the livelihoods, we were not just able to meet those objectives, but actually over-deliver with actual data to support it. Next slide, please. Next one. I think I kind of forgot to ask you to go on. Yeah, the next one, please. Yeah, I think I've spoken this. Next one, please. And the next one. Yeah, so it's not surprising that Nakshatra Sabha became synonymous to astrotourism in India, and Nakshatra Sabha became a national conversation. It was an ideal showcase of how astrotourism, which blends digital virality with traditional media credibility, can create a market, and it did. I can say that by experience. Next one, please. So this series of events ended in last April 2025. So what I've been doing since then, we have now partnered with the state government boards beyond Uttarakhand as well. We are working in other states as well. For the Uttarakhand government, we have built observatory, which was recently inaugurated by the Deputy Chief Minister of the state. And you can see a picture here. We are now the official skilling partners for the Hospitality and Skilling Counseling of India. And we have trained more than 500 astro guides in the last 7 or 8 months. And actually, this initiative is still ongoing. So what happens is youth which were coming from small villages in Uttarakhand, small obscure communities, are being skilled to about basic astronomy. They are being taught basic astronomy, and they are being taught how to use the telescope. So these are people who own homestays. These are people who are working as local tour guides for tourists. These are people who are working in small hotels and restaurants. They are working as local cab drivers. But with this upskilling upskilled training, their newly acquired training in astronomy, they can now earn the extra buck, improve their own lifestyle, but also because they are now being trained in astronomy, the scientific temper is higher, and that kind of replicates back in the entire community. Recently, we also started with an online webinar series called Celestial R. You can read more about it on our website, which is a fortnightly webinar series where we invite eminent scientists and astronomers from around the globe. It is open to all, happens every alternate Friday at 5 p.m. Standard Indian time. Um, and again, this is our way of ensuring that people of all ages have access to astronomy research, to basics of astronomy, because I personally believe that astronomy is not just a subject. It is, it is the thread that binds all different disciplines: physics, mathematics, art, history, literature together. And that is what we are trying to do here. We have also been developing products specifically for the Indian market. I show you two examples here. One is a Sense DIY kit for a sundial. The other is a planisphere, which is designed and developed in-house by Starscapes for the Indian skies. And the special thing about this is that it also mentions the Indian Hindi or Sanskrit names of stars, so that our children not just learn to read about the sky, read the sky, learn about the sky, but do it in a way their ancestors did. So next one, please. Yeah, so with that, I thank you all for your time and attention. I also saw that there are a couple of questions. I'll try to answer those if I can find them. And if there are any other questions, I'm happy to take. Thank you.
Okay, I just heard from our online chair that the next talk, Mayuri told me that the next talk is online, but there's no speaker. And she also said that the last speaker is not online and there's no talk. So this means that this was the last, the second and the last presentation in this session. Maybe the online chair can bring up the last or the two speakers on the screen now for the questions. Okay, are there any online questions? Mayuri is now typing and she says, no, there are no online questions. So are there any questions here? For Tsolmon or Smriti? Yes.
Hello. First off, thank you both for your time. Okay, sure. For your time and for speaking with us. My question is for our first speaker, wondering about if you measured any changes to astrotourism in Mongolia, or if you got those numbers from your tourism, your government. How were you able to measure the impact of your programs?
Good question.
Okay, thank you for your question. So in my presentation, I showed a picture of a homestay, Astro homestay. It was there was some homestays, but before our activity start 2009 until 2025, we got the information from the local organizations. So Astro families became 60 in different 9 regions. So other regions also interested, but it was before our Astro-Tourism workshop started. There was only 4 tourism homestays. They didn't use telescopes. They didn't use astronomical observation. So our program teach them in 2000 9, and after several years after that, we teach how to improve and how to attract people. So now 60 people, 60 nomads families also distribute this idea, and until this summer also we will go field trips and check how they grow up, and also how they change numbers. We can say that next year. Now, until now, we have 60. From 4, 60 now change. And also governor of this regions, also provinces, they also encourage this program, and they include also this policy, development policy of their region, they said. Thank you for question.
Thank you, Tsolmon. More questions?
Hello? Excuse me. Hi. So as a business school prof, can you see me? As a business school prof, I'm curious about how you approach your market. So the clients or the customers that come and take part in the Astro-Tourism services. So how do you go about analyzing that market and segmenting and targeting that market? Thank you.
So, tourists, our government policy in the Ministry of Tourism, they encourage, they have planned to attract tourists, more tourists from year to year. So this plan also, we have 2 million, as last year's government plan, there was Ministry of Tourism, they included that. In this report, they wanted to have more than million tourists within per year. So Astro-Tourism also new for them, but they knew that the Astro-Tourism is very good impact for developing tourism. So I think regions and provinces take example from these 60 families, and they will develop this activity. And also Astro-Tourism also will be a combination with school teachers and nomads, herders, and like interdisciplinary. So for this, we have to take more trainings with joint Ministry of Tourism and other responsible authorities of these tourist activities in the country.
Thank you. I also have a question. Sorry? Oh, the second speaker. Do you have a view on the question? Yes?
Yes, sure.
Go ahead.
Sorry?
Ask the question again.
Maybe she didn't hear it. So I'll repeat the question again. So how do you go about segmenting your market? So the clients that come to take part in the Astro-Tourism, how do you divide that market up, identify clients, target them in order to get them to come and pay for your services? So the question is about market segmentation. Thank you.
So right now it's more of a hit and trial for us. So our observatories are of course built in locations, as I mentioned, which are dark sky locations. And it so happens besides Corbett. So if I talk about Coorg or Kosani, I mean, Kosani, for instance, is a village, literally, or a big town, if you like, with 2,000 residents in there, and that's it. And people still go there because you have a very good view of the Himalayan range from there. And there is nothing else to see or do. So even if you're spending, a day driving up the mountain and you are done seeing the sunrise and the sunset, there is nothing else to do. And that is one thing that we offer. And it gives us an opportunity then to, tell people about Astro-Tourism. I've had instances where people are telling, is like, can light be also a form of pollution? And that is the kind of question you want to address in a setting like this. So, and then coming to so this year, for instance, we've been going international. So for the solar eclipse, we'll be going we are taking a trip to Spain. And then, of course, for us, the segmentation then comes from people who are kind of what we call the middle class in India, who can, afford to take the family for 2 nights, 3 days, spend a few bucks, and come back on a long weekend, or the ones who are traveling internationally, and that's the kind of the premium segment. And then some part of that we are trying to invest in the community. So at all our observatories, for instance, the staff is the locals who are working for us, just like the skilled Uttarakhandi dudes that I mentioned we have been skilling. So yeah, market segmentation is a work in progress.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Hi, good afternoon. Sorry, where I am? Yeah. In your work with the communities, do you encourage them to look by recognition as large dark sky places by some agency like International Dark Sky Association?
Is that a question for me?
For both? For both speakers. Thank you.
So I'll respond. So we have been in touch with Dark Sky International for some of our projects, but those conversations are still ongoing. So I will not I will not comment on that anymore, because Dark Sky International has a way in which they work on selected regions and areas, whereas at Starscapes, our initiative is pan-India, and India, geographically, every 100 kilometers, the culture, the language, and the geography changes. So to have a model where Dark Sky International can work with us in tandem is again work in progress. I'll pass it on to Tsolmon.
Are you still there, Tsolmon?
Yes.
Okay, you can speak now.
Sorry, can you repeat, because my computer, can you, I'm sorry.
Yes, we will repeat the question.
Yes, sorry.
I ask if in your work with the communities, do you encourage them to look by recognition as dark sky places from some agency like International Dark Sky Association?
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
Yes, it is very good question. We very first training workshop, when we talk about light pollution awareness and astroecology activity, we started our Dark Sky International Organization. I was also as delegate, so there are plenty of materials, and we use, and also example. Also, I encourage people, also encourage places especially in the Gobi region. So why don't you become dark sky places and dark sky temples or something like this. So, for example, I showed them, for example, this places, it is selected as Dark Sky International Organization. So why we don't to do that? And people appreciate it, and I think our people, participants, I think started to input their data as delegates, as members for this. It is actually is a very good Dark Sky International organization in the world, and people learn each other and experience. So it is one of our mission also to develop and distribute about this information.
Thank you. And I think I have one final question, or okay, I'll wait with my question, and there's another question first.
So by coincidence, I'm on the board of Dark Sky International. I'm also on our International Dark Sky Places Committee. And I'd like to talk to both of you myself, because we're making some changes. The process has been unwieldy, and I'm sure if you're talking to people, it's taking a long time. But I'm particularly interested also in the astrotourism that you're doing in remote places. I started Astronomers Without Borders years ago, and now I'm focusing on these very remote areas. So I can tell you, first of all, as far as the dark sky places, in answer to the question, to a certain extent, there are very specific categories. And I want to see what you might have that would. Have you, when you've looked at the dark sky, international dark sky places, have you found a category that fits for what it is you're doing, because you're working more in a region, or is there an issue with finding the right designation for it that you can apply for? So first, that's the question, and the other is I'd love to talk to both of you afterwards.
No answers? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I have one last question to both of you. How do you balance between the economic things and developing or helping or serving remote communities, saving the pristine and dark sky, but also preventing that you will develop mass tourism, because that's not what you want. You see what happened to the South Pole, for example. How do you balance that? Maybe a difficult question.
So I'll take the lead there. So as I mentioned, in terms of balancing the economy, so as I said in my answer to market segmentation, so there are two categories here. One is what we call as the premium category. People from India who are happy to take a week-long, 10-day-long trip just to chase the solar eclipse across Europe, right? And that is what pays the salaries. And then you come to an initiative where you collaborate with the government, with the state governments, like we've been doing. So the entire upskilling program that I mentioned with the Hospitality and Skill Council of India is completely state sponsored. We are doing the training, but the entire program. So kids who are coming even from the neighborhood areas, staying with us for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, their assessment, their food, their accommodation, everything is being sponsored by the state, just because the state wants to see these youth have a better life and increase and improve the scientific temper in the local community. So, but to have the business running, we are a private limited company. We are not an NGO. We are not an institution, educational institution funded by the state. We have to balance both, and that's a tussle we are, as a startup, we are working with.
Thank you.
The other question, the other part of the question that you mentioned, so that's what Nakshatra Sabha showed. So at every event that we did, we had red lighting policies. We showed complete, zero light pollution, and we left each venue as it was. There was a no plastic use policy that was implemented. There were 100% sustainable toilets that were there on the campsites and stuff like that. So that was basically the part of the showcase to show that even in a developing nation like ours, it is indeed possible to do it.
Okay, that's good.
It just
that's
takes
good
some
to hear.
effort. It just takes some effort.
Tsolmon.
Yes, this question, to answer your questions is, I will start this. Our herders and nomads people are busy with their animal to take care about animals, busy. So, of course, the economical income very low, of course. So using this telescope and combination with the astrotourism, including also becoming member as astronomats family, it of course will change their life income. And also, besides economical income, also they could become very good citizen scientists not only astro homestays, they become very good citizen scientists. So they could have knowledge about star observation, and also some amateur astronomers. Why this solar eclipse or something, lunar eclipse, they could explain also something. Also, beside this, this astro kids of grown in nomadic families and herders families, using nomads astro activity, they could also grow as tourist managers, tourist, also astro tourists itself, something. It is very, they will, of course, impact in many ways, not in economic, but only not economic balance, and also as citizen scientists, and also educational, they could rise. So we cannot say that not only economically, but beyond economical values, they have could have benefits, lots of benefits from this. For example, light pollution change, also climate change or something, they could contribute.
Well, thank you very much for your answers. Let's thank the speakers again. And I also want to thank my online co-chair, Mayuni from India. She did a good job. So let's end the session here and hope to see you again at the next CAP again in live. Okay, bye.
Thank you, bye.